Thanks for joining me today on the Never Die podcast. My next guest has been through the trials and tribulations of life, but through hard work and perseverance, he has come out on top. Please enjoy my interview. Hi, everybody. This is Holland Martin, and thanks for joining me today to a very special guest, 2018 Marion High School graduate and Indiana Wesleyan 2022 graduate, Justin Johnson. Justin, thanks for joining me today.
No problem, man. It's a pleasure.
All right. Well, let's get right into it, man. Now, I've known you for a long time since the day you came. You and my son, pretty good friends and everything. And it's been an honor, been a pleasure to watch you grow, man. You are very mature young man. You know what I'm saying? I think you could be a great example with your skills and with your education and all that to really, teach young brothers going forward. But yeah, thanks for joining me. But let's get into it. So you recently just graduated from Indiana Wesleyan.
Yeah, just graduated. I mean, I was hoping to graduate in the spring, but some stuff had happened. So, you know, everything happens for a reason. I'm glad I finally got to graduate.
Yeah.
So, but it's a blessing.
And so you were a starter of the original class all the way to now, from the very first
Yeah.
game. Yeah. And
Yeah,
started
well, they had this thing called the first 50, the first class they recruited, but I was a part of the first season for sure.
Yeah. And she ended up being one of the best players. You can't talk about Indiana Wesleyan football for the next 20 years without talking about you. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, it's
cemented yourself in Indiana Wesleyan history, man. That's dope. I'm seeing all them number ones walking around the town, man. You got some stock in them number one jerseys, bro.
yeah. Nah, I don't, but
You
I've been planning
should.
on, reaching back out.
You know what I'm
I
saying?
really I went into it. I didn't know much about the NIL until
Yes.
my senior year, and then there was just so much going on that I really can't get into it. But I'm
Yeah.
definitely
Yeah. We'll keep it all basic, but hey, that could be very lucrative, bro.
yeah, it is.
You know. But yeah, just proud of you. But talk about being the only one to come through because we kind of fielded a lot of Marion athletes to come through there
Mhm.
when you graduated, but you're the only one left. And we
Yeah.
don't have to call them by name or anything like that, but can you talk about the perseverance that it took? I'm sure all the times wasn't good. I'm sure you maybe had to go through some things, but talk about maybe some of the things, some of the you know strength that it took to get through there. The long hours on the road, the deadlines and papers. I'm a college
Man.
graduate. That stuff ain't easy, bro. You
Yeah.
gotta want it. If you don't
Yeah.
want it, you make an excuse not to do it. But it's
Yeah.
not like high school; they're not gonna come chase you.
Definitely. And
You know?
that's the part where I had to learn, especially
Yeah.
going into a school where it's a obviously a culture shock. So I had
Mm-hmm.
to get used to like how things worked around the clock at that school. So
Mm-hmm.
like the school work, it really wasn't hard, and that's the thing about college. It's really not too hard depending on your major. It's all
Mm-hmm.
about the time you put in to do your work.
Yes.
So
Yep.
like it's just especially being a student athlete. So, it was sometimes where deadlines, I get past deadlines and had to email professors, but some people won't email their professors because they're too prideful and,
Mm-hmm.
don't want to go out their way to ask for help and
It's
see if
too
you
big
can
to
make it
hide.
work. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So some people, yes, I missed out by a couple of assignments, you know what I mean? But I was able to make it up, and that stuff
Mm-hmm.
that helped me go on through college, and then it helped me realize that I couldn't keep doing that when I didn't have time for it. So
Mm-hmm.
like I had my own stepping stones where I had to recognize to had to
Yeah.
grow up. That's what college makes you do. It makes you grow up,
It does, bro.
and you know, all you gotta do a lot of time management, especially being playing football and playing football. You at football most of your day, and then you at school. So
Working out,
yeah,
studies, get you some
studying,
personal time.
man. So
And
yeah,
that's understandable. So let's uh, touch a little bit. You're not originally from Marion, although you graduated from Marion High School. You're originally from Indianapolis.
yeah. So
Okay.
I was born and raised in Indianapolis, Indiana.
Mm-hmm.
But growing up, I never really stayed in Indianapolis. Um, my the root of my family, both sides of my family are from Louisville, Kentucky.
Okay.
So I would bounce back and forth from Louisville to Indianapolis.
Hmm.
Money wasn't right with my parents, so we would find which one was cheaper. My dad worked out of town, which was Louisville most of the time, so we would go there, and then we would come back to Indianapolis. But that's originally where I'm from,
Hmm.
and that's where I actually started playing. This is a fun fact. I actually started playing football in Louisville, Kentucky.
Okay.
So and then my first sport was basketball, but
Hmm.
basketball wasn't for me. So
And that's good. I mean, you
yeah,
are a super
yeah,
athletic, very athletic. Like I said, I've watched you grow from 15, 16 to now, and
hmm
it's you're very quick twitch, but also cerebral. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Like
hmm
you're able to make supreme athletic moves, but also reading what's coming before you and what's coming behind you, man. Uh,
yeah.
are there any pro looks or anything?
Not right now. Well, I do have the coach. They're asking a little bit about me.
Yeah.
Coming from a small school is always harder because
Hmm.
you got the D1s and everything is political
Yeah.
nowadays. I mean, most
But
people
I can
don't
see it
realize
though.
that. Yeah.
If they
So
give you a tryout,
yeah.
I mean, you at least make practice squad
Oh yeah,
and
definitely.
then work your way up. I mean, they're gonna pay you
Hmm
80,000 a year just on practice squad.
Yeah.
It's probably 100 now. You know,
Yeah.
just and do that, making them better. And then hey,
hmm
somebody go down, should you next up? Like you have that
Yes, sir.
supreme athleticism that
hmm
translates to the
Yeah.
next.
And I recognized, I mean, growing up, I never had anything handed to me. You know what I mean? So like at this age that I'm at now, I'm not really like, you know, I wish I could get drafted, but
Mm-hmm.
the route that the Lord has given me, maybe I'll be able to get drafted. But in either way, I'll take what's given to me. You know what I mean? What's
Yes.
earned. So like it's never gonna be easy. If it's easy to me, if it's too easy, it ain't right.
Yeah, it has to be. It's
Yeah,
got there's a joy in the struggle almost.
yeah.
Yeah,
hmm
I know exactly what you mean. Um, so let's go back to the Indianapolis days. Did you play any little league as far as baseball or basketball or football? Third and fourth grade.
Uh, yeah. I played when I moved. So I started football in Louisville, Kentucky.
Mm-hmm.
Started football and basketball there, but then I moved back to Indianapolis around 8, 9 years old, and I remember that the first team my mama called. We lived across the park from Douglas Park. I
Mm-hmm.
don't know if nobody knows where that's at. It's like 25th and College, but
Yeah, yeah,
we
that's
moved
by
across the
it's by the golf course.
yeah
And
right
yeah,
there.
I played semi-pro down there against the Indy Dragons and the
For real, that's
Tornadoes.
dope.
Yeah, yeah, you might have been
That's
there in the
crazy.
stands.
Yeah, I probably
Hey,
was.
yeah, I played against the Dragons a couple times down there,
Uh-huh.
boy. But yeah, I
Wow.
know right what you're talking
Wow.
about.
And we moved across there, and my mom was looking for some for me to keep playing football, and she called the CAW Eagles, and I think she talked to Coach Alonzo, or
Mm-hmm.
I think it was Coach Chambers, Coach Craig,
Mm-hmm.
and he told me just come and play, and then it was new to me still, and I was real nervous, and then that's where I started playing. Where I really fell in love with playing football because I was really welcomed into the Eagles
Mm-hmm.
when I came to Indianapolis. They really welcomed me and like let me try out new positions and all that. But my main position was quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
I think I started playing quarterback there, but usually it's not really your main position.
Yeah.
I remember that I used to just run one play. They had me come in for one play, and that was 18 sweep, 19 sweep.
Mm-hmm.
And I
Okay.
run that as quarterback, but that's where I started my stepping stones at.
Man, that's good stuff, man. And you brought up
Yeah,
Craig Chambers, which what I call the great Craig Chambers, man.
yeah,
I can't wait to have him on one of these, man. And in the 4 years that I've worked with
yeah,
him, like he has helped me more than man.
yeah.
I love the dude. I love
Me
that
too.
dude. You know what I'm saying?
He's amazing, bro.
Yeah,
A
he's a
lot of people
man.
don't recognize, man. A lot of people don't recognize all the stuff, the sacrifices that he do to help
Mm-hmm.
anybody that steps foot in his life. You
Yep.
know,
He
my
helped
first
me.
time meeting him was 9 years old, and
Mm-hmm.
I graduated. He took me all the way up to high school. So
You know what I'm saying? He
yeah,
helped me. I had some incidents or two at the high school when he coached there, and
hmm
you know what I'm saying. And him and Coach Bell pulled, stood up for me and helped me out. And so I'm
yeah,
indebted to him for that. And plus,
Yeah.
he helped my son as well. What about in middle school? Where did you go to middle school at?
So around middle school, my mother was sick, so I moved to Louisville for like a little bit when I
Mm-hmm.
started middle school. So I started middle school in seventh grade, and I went to school in Louisville, Kentucky, around Newburgh
Mm-hmm.
area. But I didn't play football for their middle school team because they had their favorites. But anyways, I moved back from middle school. I moved back to Indianapolis in 2013, and I went
Mm-hmm.
to Thomas Carr Howe. That's when I started. That's when I
Yeah.
started going there in seventh grade, and that's when I was with Coach Chambers again. And there I played with most of the people that I knew at that school. I played with them in youth league, like Dante,
Mm-hmm.
Tyrell,
Yeah.
Montrell. You know, what I mean, we all went to that school because we had a coach to take us in and be able to get us off the streets and like just come and play
Mm-hmm.
football. And you know, what I mean, it wasn't really if you was good or not. You still was gonna be
Get
able to
you
get a
out.
chance to play. Yeah,
Yeah.
get you to play, let you have fun and all that stuff. That's what it was really about, and that's where I started middle school.
And
Then
it's
I
still
that's where I stayed there and I played through high school there too until I left.
good stuff. And still friends to this day. I love all those cats that you name. I know.
Hmm.
Every time I see them, it's all love. When I
Yeah.
just
Uh-huh.
okay, so let's talk about playing football freshman year. Were you the quarterback freshman year at Howe?
No, I actually was no, I actually was just like a substitute guy. I
Mm-hmm.
played we had a little freshman team at Howe, but we didn't have too much money to like have a lot of games. So
Yeah.
we only had three freshman games there, and I played quarterback. I
Mm-hmm.
started quarterback for the freshman team. But at Howe, most of the freshmen, we played half the freshmen played varsity because played JV or varsity because there wasn't no
Mm-hmm.
it wasn't a big school. We only had to take the players that we had.
Yeah.
So I was just more of a substitute guy. We had Chris Mundy, you know Chris.
Yeah.
He was the quarterback.
Yeah.
He was the quarterback when I was a freshman. He had to be behind him, and Dante was the number two quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to learn from them guys, and you know what I mean. Really wasn't no quarterback coach.
Mm-hmm.
So Monday we all just we helped each other out. Coach Chris, he was the OC, but he really wasn't a QB coach. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So like we all was just learning from each other, figure out. We see someone on the field, we'll help each other out. But then uh, once my freshman year was over, that's when Monday had graduated, and I
Mm-hmm.
became the starting quarterback my sophomore year.
Now
So
let's go into that. Let's go into that sophomore year now.
so when at the end of freshman year, Coach Craig and Coach Chris didn't know who they was going to start
Mm-hmm.
uh, at quarterback coming into the 2015 season. It was either they really wanted to choose Dante to start because I was so small, like
Mm-hmm.
they really didn't know if I was able to like play varsity,
Yeah. It's
depending on
big
my
time
size.
football down there.
Yeah, it's big time football. I was only 160, so I'm like, I'm in my head, I'm nervous, but I'm ready to go. You know what I'm saying? I gotta learn and get through everything and
Yeah.
adapt to the new level of playing each and every game. Like the freshman year, I played a good handful of snaps, but it wasn't the snaps I would get my sophomore year.
Mm-hmm.
So going through that summer, me and Dante would rotate, and uh, but they had then it was like practicing a little bit. We would rotate, and then when it came to scrimmages, they decided that I was going to be the quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
So in practices, I would be kind of nervous, miss some throws here and there. I'm only a sophomore quarterback, but
Mm-hmm.
I did enough to actually earn the spot and what I mean and be the quarterback because I
Yeah.
put in work. So
Yeah.
going through the scrimmages that summer, they was hard, but it was a lot of great things that I did. We was a speed option team and
Mm-hmm.
we could spread it out too. So like
Yes.
we had a package, we would do like wing T, but we
Mm-hmm.
also then we had so much speed where the year before Monday he wasn't able to like run the option as quick as we was as me
Mm-hmm.
and as I was coming in. No
Mm-hmm.
disrespect, but we know Monday when he couldn't.
Yeah. Yeah.
Monday had that arm on him.
You had that speed
Yeah,
around the edge.
yeah. So coming that's during the scrimmages we started to get comfortable with spreading it out and like I think that helped us out because in the a lot of teams wasn't as fast as us in our division.
Yeah. Elite speed, that
So
city speed.
at least, man. So, and we practiced on turf. I mean, we practiced on grass, played on grass, but that's another story. So, going through the summer, it was tough, but then, it helped me just see what I was gonna be able to compete against,
Yeah.
and going on the that year. And our scrimmages, we didn't really. I think one scrimmage we faced people at our division, but we would normally face people at a higher division than us to make it, get ready for the playoffs.
Yeah. Yeah, because like we
So,
always talked about, it was 15
uh-huh,
weeks. We wouldn't be playing our best
yeah.
at the end.
hmm So, and how we scrimmaged Center Grove as the scrimmage before the first game, and we came out, man. We came out. The play is still like remarkable to this day. If you ever see Coach Craig again, ask him for the first play versus
Center
uh
Grove.
it was Center Grove. Yeah, we came out and ran a speed option play, and I faked the handoff, and I went around the corner, and then I'm running, and I juke a dude, and I keep running, and then as soon as I'm about to get hit, I threw it to Dante. Dante right there on the sideline. Took it all the way down the
To
field.
the
It was
house.
just crazy. No, it actually was Tyrell. It was Tyrell.
Tyrell.
And then Dante, he came around. He's just blocking any and everybody in
Oh,
front of
yeah.
him. And we took it. Tyrell took it for 70 yards. 70 yards. So like at that moment, I was like, oh yeah, we can compete. You know what
We
I
can
mean?
do this.
Center Grove. I think Center Grove was uh, the
It
defending
might have
champs.
been
If not,
one
they
state.
came
Yeah.
off. Yeah,
Semi-state or state,
yeah.
something like that.
And
Yeah.
so that gave
That
me a lot
let
of
you know that you
confidence
could play
going
that
into that
big time.
year.
Yeah. Hey, good stuff,
Yeah,
man.
definitely, definitely.
So as you going through the season, I think you ended
hmm
up losing 4 games, but
Yeah.
you
Well,
end up
three,
going,
three, three regular season games, three,
yeah.
and then we lost the semi-state
Mm-hmm.
game. Yeah, and
Yes.
then the losses. Coach Craig had talk about this day. They was really petty losses, but
Mm-hmm.
talk about the just going into the playoffs. That year we played. I think we played. I know we played Cecina. We almost lost our second game, and then the Cecina game we only won by 7 points. I think a
Mm-hmm.
touchdown, and Dante took it for 99 yards out the end zone. A QB sneak out the end zone. So touching on the last game,
Mm-hmm.
we I'm gonna just give you a lot of stuff. So we couldn't play. We didn't want to play at our home field
Yeah.
because it was so trash. We had dirt and mud in the middle of the field throughout the whole 100 yards.
Mm-hmm.
So we wanted to play somewhere that was nice. So we played at Arsenal Tech.
Arsenal Tech.
Uh, hmm
It was built
and we
for
was
when the Colts. I think it was built for when the Colts went to the Super Bowl or
yeah.
something like that. It's pretty state of the art with the nice weight room and
hmm
all that.
Yeah. So they got that free turf. So we playing there. We playing Monrovia. We
Mm-hmm.
really wasn't they ran this weird offense. They
Mm-hmm.
had three down. Everybody on their team was down like in 3 point stands.
Mm-hmm.
So
And they
all they
didn't
would do
pass the
was run
ball
the ball.
once. They ran
Yeah,
for 430 yards on you guys, unfortunately.
yeah.
One cat
But
got 3 touchdowns.
yeah, they did pass the ball one time though. It was a play action and they scored off of it. So,
Mm.
but going in that game, it was crazy, man. I remember warm ups. It was just cold and we just all preparing. None of us, none of us on that team have been to that level, but one person, this dude named Dre, he had transferred from Warren Central. He
Mm-hmm.
played safety, but none of us had been to that level. So we all had jitters and stuff, and
Yeah.
and scared, not scared, but nervous. We was
Mm-hmm.
definitely a little nervous and really worried about the mistakes we would make. But going into that game, we knew we could beat them. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? We
Yeah.
came out. We came out, and I don't think we scored on the first drive.
No,
But once we start going,
I think
man, it was.
Tyrell caught a pass from you or something,
hmm
and then
It
I think
was that. It was that picture you sent me. The picture where I tossed
yeah, when
it.
you're pitching it. Mm-hmm.
Yep, that's what I. That was the first touchdown I passed to Tyrell. If you get a chance to pull that that clip up, you should pull it up. All the touchdowns we scored was like they was crazy. They wasn't like normal touchdowns. I'm telling you, they was playoff touchdowns.
Super
But
touchdowns. It was just
man,
you and
so
Tyrell scored all the touchdowns.
yo,
Yep.
Dante scored one, and then Tyler scored one too.
Oh yeah, you threw
In,
that 7 yard pass to Tyler right toward
in the
the
end
end.
zone.
Yep,
Yep.
at the end.
hmm
But then they
But
ran a couple of times and ran the clock out after that.
man, yeah. I remember we went into half up by two, I think.
What a
And
16, 30, yeah. It was
yeah, up by three. I think we was up by three. Or down by three.
mm,
No, I think we was down by three. But we went to half down by three. Did they kick the onside at halftime after they scored halftime? No,
yeah,
I don't think they did.
they kicked the onside, I think it was right before the half, if I'm not
hmm
mistaken. And then they got a
Yeah.
fumble recovery after that.
Yeah. It was it was on a punt return. It was about to go out of bounds. It
Mm,
was crazy. But yeah, it was about to go out of bounds and we touched it and they got it off the bounce. But
and,
that onside kick, it was real iffy, man. When I tell
mm,
you, all of us on the sideline, it don't look like it got past 10 yards. It got like to 8.5, 9 yards. And when their
they jumped
players
on it.
touched it, that's when they got on it. And
Mm,
we over there hooping and hollering about it. And that's when like the momentum changed of the game.
yeah.
And then after that, we really couldn't draw the ball. After after that happened, we couldn't draw the ball at all for like 3 series.
Mm,
And then that's when we finally made some shake after that.
mm.
hmm
And ended up losing what 37 to 31. No, 35-31. Because
Yep.
we missed the extra points. We missed 4 out of 5
hmm
extra points.
Yeah, we didn't have no kicker that year. We had our running back kicking the ball as field goals. You know what I mean? So our school, we didn't have a lot of players, so we didn't have no kicker. We tried
Mm-hmm.
to get the soccer players to come out, one of the soccer players to come out and kick for us, but they didn't want to come kick for us. But if
Yeah.
we would have had a kicker and we went for 2 point conversions, if we got the 2 point conversions or we had a kicker, we definitely would have came out on top on that game.
And do you remember once we got to Marion, you guys got to Marion, the kicking game
hmm
was super important. We
Yes.
had the best soccer dudes, and
hmm
it worked. To this
Yeah.
day that formula is working. There's 2 or 3 guys from the soccer team. They come over and kick, and it works now. Like we don't miss
hmm
very often that
At all.
well. So talk about so now the season's over, and is there any buzz of when did the buzz of Marion come at the beginning?
Uh,
And we don't have to get too personal, but just kind of when did the buzz of Marion come? And leaving Indianapolis.
uh, it just, I think after we lost the game, it really wasn't much going on.
Mm-hmm.
And so then coach, got, he's out looking for another new job because Howe, he has his own reasons, but Howe really wasn't doing their thing.
Mm-hmm.
So coach,
And it's
he took
tough,
his journey.
but they
Yeah.
were a charter school, weren't they?
Yeah.
It's
It
tough.
was like it was charter school mixed with IPS. It just was crazy. It was charter
Yeah,
school mixed with IPS.
it's
So
bad.
yeah. So he went out and did his looking for some jobs. And that's when he found a job at Marion High School.
Man,
So
perfect fit.
he
Perfect. We needed him.
he definitely Marion did,
We needed him, man. His legacy is still here.
Yes,
It's still
yes.
here.
So after he went out and looked for Marion, he talked to me about it. Not many people know, but I had to stay with Coach Craig a little bit of high school because of
Mm-hmm.
what was going on at home with my dad and stuff. So I
Mm-hmm.
had to stay with Coach Chambers, and he took me in as one of his little step kids. So
Yeah.
he talked to me about it, and he asked me what I was I willing to go go to Marion High School and go there for school and play football. And
Mm-hmm.
it took me a minute to think about it and talk to family about it, and do my own little research. I really was scared because
Mm-hmm.
y'all was 2-8 for the past like
Oh, but no, we was
3, 4 years.
we was oh
Oh,
shit. I think that year we was 2-8, but we was 0-10 and 0-10 before that.
yeah,
So it was
yeah. So
like,
I
bruh, it was
seen that.
bad. It was bad. And a lot of those guys didn't know what they was doing, you know.
Yeah,
And
I
then once we
understand that.
get to Coach Craig, and then once we get to Coach Bell, now it's advanced football now. But 10
Hmm.
years ago, it was just kind of it wasn't as advanced as it is now. So yeah, we was glad to see y'all. But then there was that buzz of the Indianapolis, blah blah blah, this and that,
Yeah,
all that stuff that I hate to hear. But uh,
man.
yeah,
I do want to speak on that. I do. So I wasn't able to play my junior year
had to
because
be
of
cleared.
yeah, I wasn't clear. But the thing is, my papers never got sent. Nobody really knows that.
Mhm.
As a 16-year-old, that was tough on me. I didn't know
Yeah,
either to stay or go back to Indianapolis and stay with someone else
because
when I had been there for
you could have played
yeah.
immediately down there your junior year.
Hmm.
You
Yeah.
know.
When I was already there for a whole half a year, waiting to
Mhm.
get cleared. You know what I mean? Seeing all these other players get cleared that transferred and stuff.
Yes,
So
yes,
it was kind of hard on me. And, but I really was me. I'm a loyal guy. I'm a really faithful guy. And once I'm
yes.
like, we family. And I chose to stay at Marion High School.
Stand. Yep. And
And
look
not
how it
many
worked
people,
out. Look how it
yeah,
worked out.
not many people know, but I was still practicing every day with the high schoolers that year. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. You to make us better.
Hmm.
You made us better. It's almost
Hmm.
like we talked about earlier, practice squad.
Hmm.
The best player on the team
Yeah,
is on that can't play.
yeah. And
Because we
that
did have
year,
Thomas.
yeah, we did. We did. He was a great player, but that year I really that's when my skill set of being like a whole athlete and not
Hmm.
just a quarterback had like tapped into my
Yes.
DNA, you know what I mean? So
Oh,
that year
oh, I
really
remember too. They
yeah,
they let you do the alumni game. So I remember
yep,
I was the running back and
yeah,
playing against y'all,
yeah.
and we beat y'all though. We did.
We talked to Coach
But
Craig about that one too.
hey, hey, it was. Hey, I was sore for like 3 days after that. Boy, I was like, we had to beat y'all. We
Yeah, I
had to beat
did.
y'all.
We were
But
so mad.
oh man, but that was when, honestly, that was when I think the town saw you really for the first time. They was like,
Yeah,
oh shit, hey, this
hmm,
boy he's a great quarterback. He has the
yeah,
moves, he has the vision, and then that springboarded things for when you were
hmm,
eligible to play in 2017. I mean, and the rest is really history. From the
yeah,
time you started to right now is you can make a movie out of that, bro. You can make a movie
yeah,
out of that story, man. Because now you got your doctorate. I mean, masters. You can
hmm.
you can you can. They got to
Do a
pay you
lot.
just for that piece of paper. They got to pay
Yeah,
you for that piece of paper, bro. I done put
definitely.
7 years of college in. You got to pay me for that. You know
Yes,
what I'm saying?
sir.
You know
Definitely.
what I'm saying? And it's nothing less than 100.
Hmm.
Nothing less than 100 with my
Hmm.
master's degree. So I mean, the
I
sky's
didn't
the
did
limit.
too much time for that.
I'm saying,
Yeah,
but you get the opportunity to play at Marion
yeah,
now. You know
yeah.
what I'm
And
saying? Now
then,
you at
mhm,
Marion. And that first game of your football season at Marion, we beat Huntington 35 to nothing at Huntington. Uh, you got 148 yards rushing and scored once and threw for 221 and
mhm.
passed to Zay, Ping Pong, and JK. You talk about that very first game, being a starter at Marion and doing real good.
uh, it was real electrifying.
Mm-hmm.
Coming off a whole year not even like practicing quarterback or playing in any real games.
Mm-hmm.
It was like it was a chip on my shoulder. I remember getting
Yeah.
interviewed that first. I remember getting interviewed the day of the game and just getting asked a lot of questions like, "How do you feel? Are you ready? Do you think it's gonna be hard?"
Mm-hmm.
I just was thinking the whole time like, you know, just be patient and just work with what you're gonna give. So I think it was. like I said, it was an electrifying game, and
Yeah.
going in with some players. Me and Montreal didn't play either, so we've been training all summer, and we was just basically riding off each other and just having each other back that game. JK and the rest of the guys, all the rest of the guys have been here and playing, and they got their new groove, but bringing in a new quarterback and not playing with them, you got a whole new system. So it was it was crazy. It was just showing us that we had that speed that I was talking about. With me playing at a quarterback, it gives your team a whole new dynamic, and you can do a lot more things that you can have done. And I think
We did have
we.
16. I'm sorry, go ahead.
What'd you say? Go ahead.
I was saying we did have 16 penalties and 3
Yeah, we did.
fumbles. Even though we gave them a goose egg, 16
Uh-huh.
penalties, boy. Woo!
Yeah, it
Tough.
was. We really wasn't disciplined, but we came out. We got 3 fumbles, but we also come out with the win. The stats they say a lot, but like when you playing in the game, it's different. We
Yeah.
had those fumbles and penalties, but we did do awesome. We did do greater things than just
Mhm.
the things that could have defeated us.
So now let's move on to that next week. Your very first home game at Marion,
Hmm.
beat Mount Vernon 40-16. You end up getting a 70-yard pick six in the first quarter and a touchdown run in the first quarter. I mean, you was
Hmm.
off to the races out the gate.
Yeah.
That, Marion, we do it big. That first home game at Marion, here you are.
It was it was way more than electrifying for me. I was coming from Howe, and we had pep rallies and
Mm-hmm.
stuff. It really we ain't never had nothing like that. Run out to the field, all that Marion had did for us was really like a dream for me to like actually come true, to run out through our little banner. We had a banner and we run out
Yeah.
through it,
The
and all the
fans,
music and the pregame and all that stuff was just crazy. And then the fans was crazy too. I didn't really expect that many fans to come out and
energized.
support us.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
And we
it
got
was.
three pick sixes that game.
Yeah,
Shit.
we did.
Yeah.
We it some people talk about the how Marion's a basketball school, but
Mm-hmm.
once they knew they had some football in them, they came
Oh
out
yeah,
and
they
supported.
stepped up to the occasion, man.
Yeah,
We
they did.
needed you guys to
Hmm.
invigorate the program, and you did.
Yeah.
That's almost kind of what happened the last year or two. We didn't have
Hmm.
that alpha dog to uplift the rest. We had a lot of average players. We
Hmm.
didn't have the juice to come in, or we didn't have the ping pong to come in, or the Rel or the Dante to come in. So it was a little tough.
Yeah.
But the good years are to come from man. Now that third game was at home again. It was your first
Hmm.
loss.
Hmm.
Kokomo had come in, winning 10 in a row, uh, but we lost 17-14. JK had 2 fumbles early, and
Hmm.
they had got up 17-7. You know what I mean? Uh,
Yeah.
did throw a 20-yard pass to B. Burke, and then you uh, threw one to Zay too. I think down the
Hmm.
sideline or something.
Yeah. Uh, Coming out to that game, it was you know me sitting there watching Kokomo the year before beat us.
Mhm.
I had a lot of fire in me to actually even play against them. You know what I mean? Because I
Yeah, that's
just
big
last
boy.
the year before that, I wish I was out there. Because if I was
Mhm.
out there, we would have won. But
Definitely.
I it just was a game that I wanted, and everything wasn't in my power to win. You know what I'm saying? So by JK getting those fumbles, it really like shifted the momentum for Kokomo. You know what I mean? I think JK fumbled on the 3 yard line, I think,
It was
and
close.
we had to bring it out the end zone.
Mhm.
So it was, but then after all that had happened, and we started, getting stops in defense and be able to move the ball, you know, we finally got to give us a chance to win. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So, but
All right.
we didn't.
To be fair though, you did have a fumble in the fourth
Mhm.
quarter. It's like fourth
Yeah.
and one. And what do you remember that play?
Uh, I think it was a QB sneak, I want to say, but I think it was a QB sneak.
Mhm.
Uh, so
But, as we move on, we ended up
Yeah.
7-4 that year, or no, we ended up being 7-4 that year. We had a good year, but the next game was Richmond. We played them at home, 36-0. That was Ping Pong had dropped the pass, and I think maybe threw an interception after that, but he atoned for it later with a 34-yard catch in the second quarter. So that was dropped the pass. But you ended up rushing for 109 yards and passing for 107. You got 3 touchdowns. You ran for 3. So it's good stuff, man. And like you told the guy in the paper, you said they took it away last year. It's my time to shine.
Yeah.
Reported that. So now let's move on again. Another home game, Richmond. 4 carries, 4 completions, 107 yards. So you threw one to Ping Pong, 44 yards at Richmond. Then you ran 2 touchdowns in the second quarter. 1 4, but the other one a long 64-yard at Richmond. Do another one to Ping Pong in the third, and then you ran a touchdown in from the 1-yard line. But, and when I can see it in your face, a lot of times all that stuff just melts together. You know what I mean? Like, damn, was that man? Was that Howe? Was that freshman year at Iowa? Was that junior year at Iowa?
Yeah.
That's how I am. Like, for me, the older I get, a lot of it is remembering my boys or bus rides or some of the plays, but I really don't remember all the plays. I remember my home. I'm like, okay, that's my dog. I play with him. If he ever needs something, I'm with him. You know what I mean? Some good old boy, hey, if homeboy need me, I'm with him. You know what I mean?
Right.
And that's what I like too about the Iowa team, because I went to a lot of games. And y'all were like brothers.
Yeah,
it was a good time.
It definitely was.
Well, let's
but you said, was it the Richmond game or Lafayette game? Was it Lafayette?
The Lafayette game was the very next game. And you threw a 1-yard TD. You had a 69-yard run in the second quarter of Lafayette too. And then you threw a pass to Zay, and you threw a pass to Ping Pong in the fourth. But they picked a lateral and ran it back 74 yards. Do you remember that play?
No, it wasn't a lateral. Well, it was our lateral, but we basically that year we changed up how we threw our bubbles. So we instead of motioning the guy, we changed it to like a yo-yo motion, and I would fake it, I would read it, and then I ran and I threw it. So honestly, I think it was a hell of a play by the player who made the play, because he just jumped it. Honestly, he watched his film on that play for sure. So he took it and he was gone. I think JK tracked him down. So
I think he did track him down at the 3-yard line, and then they punched it in. But you got 118 yards in there. But it was 9 of 21 passing. It wasn't hitting a lot of balls, but still got 186. JK got 141 yards in there.
JK went crazy that game.
Yeah, he did. He did. He can't be discounted, man. He's one of the all-time great players, and I'm going to have him in. I've been talking to him. He told me whenever I'm ready. So I'm going to have him here soon. It's going to be epic. Like ours is going to be epic, and his is going to be epic. So that next game, though, was homecoming. I mean, Richmond was coming 1-5. Kind of the first, like we talked about, the pageantry of Marion, the powder puff. Sometimes the homecoming is secondary. But now Muncie came in with Abbott and Cleves. Remember, they had the tough white boy that could run. Cleves, he was their all-time leading rusher. You got 109 yards rushing, 2 TDs, 1 yard, 19-yarder, but he was 1 of 11 passing. It wasn't a great passing day for you.
It wasn't.
But you did throw one to Isaiah.
And it was a touchdown.
Yeah, you threw that one to Zay in the first quarter.
It was a touchdown.
And it was a tutty. But JK had 20 for 150, which kind of helped. And that was the day that they christened the Hall of Fame. Which is great. I'm shout out to that. I'm in there as a player and a coach. He'll be there forever. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
but it's
I need to talk to somebody about mine.
you need to be in there. You need to be
Yeah.
in there like tomorrow, and
Yeah.
we're gonna see if we can make that happen. But let's move on to the next game. Tech. Now we got Tech
Yes, sir.
at Tech.
Mm-hmm.
So that first year, them cats from playing,
Yep.
going to school with them. But it was a 3-hour sloppy. It was a sloppy game. But you got a 62-yard TD. JK got 62 yards rushing, and that was I missed that game. I think
Mm-hmm.
I went to that game, but I missed the game the next year. But yeah, it was that 21-6 game with Tech. It was pretty good. We needed that. But
Yeah,
so
we
now
did.
we go to McCutcheon, play McCutcheon at home, and got
Mm-hmm.
a chance to win 7 games for the first time in a long time.
Mm-hmm.
But McCutcheon come out to a 21-0 lead.
Yeah,
Yeah, they came out the gate and kind of got us.
they
Now,
did. They had us on our toes the whole time.
yeah, they
And
did. Hey, them boys. But what
yeah,
do
we
you
went
remember
into
about it?
halftime. I just remember that we could not run the ball successfully on them. And the thing is, they was blitzing the same blitz the whole game, but we
Mm-hmm.
couldn't pick it up. We couldn't just pick it up for some reason. I don't know.
It was our senior.
And I know Coach Will was mad about that game. I remember that.
That was senior
But
night.
yeah, it was senior night, and we couldn't pick the blitz up for nothing. But then after we went into halftime, did some corrections and
Mm-hmm.
stuff,
Yeah,
and we came out the gate. I
kind of
think
picked things
at,
up.
we came out the gate. I think I threw like a 70-yard bomb to
Yeah, you threw.
Isaiah.
Yeah, you threw it to Isaiah, but then the
Uh-huh.
dude grabbed it and took it away
Yep,
from him.
he took it away
That's what
from him.
happened. It was a
That's what
62
happened.
yard run, and then the dude grabbed it and took it from Zay. And
Yep. So
that hurt.
that's what happened. Then it hurt, but then we still came out and
You
we
got a 31
scored.
yard run too in the fourth.
Yep,
Yeah.
yep. We came out and scored. I remember I had a run and going towards the scoreboard. I had like a 13-yard run. I scored
Mm-hmm.
there. Then we got a 2-point conversion down there too,
Yeah.
and it was crazy. The comeback was so crazy, but
Yeah. You scored a
and then
block
we
extra point that game too, I
yep,
think.
yep,
Yeah.
yep, and then I remember it was a drive. We had to come out the end zone. That really hurt us because if we didn't have to come out the end zone, we would
Yeah.
Now that I know a little bit more about football in college, the percentages of scoring once you bagged up farther, it's like it's harder. So
Yeah.
I didn't know that in high school. I didn't know much about that. But
Yeah.
so coming out the end zone for us was really hard. We never really had good starting positions that game. I remember that for sure. We never started on their side of 50. We always started on our side of 50. So or not even we didn't even get to the 40 sometimes. So that's what really hurt us that game. But then we came back
Yeah. Made
and
it respectable. 20. We
yeah,
lost 29-19.
29-19.
Down 21 to nothing at halftime. So
Mhm.
we made it respectable. They had 80 kids and shit. We only had
Yeah,
35. You know what I'm saying?
the earth shot.
I was
Yep.
playing both ways. So but and as you know now, there's difference between city and county speed. You can be as fast and as athletic as you want to, but if they are
Yep.
disciplined and that team is
Mhm.
coached and disciplined, pretty much
Mhm.
they're gonna beat that city team.
They're gonna beat you. Yep.
You know, and that's what sometimes we come in high head. Oh, I'm gonna beat this and this such
Yep.
and such, and then shit, them boys be methodical. Kind of like on paper, you say Howe
Yep.
beats Monrovia 9 out of 10 times, but them
Yep.
boys, so like you said, the same old boom, boom, boom,
Mhm.
and 400 yards rushing. But now we in the sectionals though. Now we play
Mhm.
Delta
Yep.
at Delta.
At Delta,
I mean,
first game,
yes,
it
they
was.
had the #1 rusher in the state as a sophomore. That big old boy over there, Spiegel. He ended up getting
Uh,
he ended up getting 230 yards on us.
yep.
But Zebo had got suspended for he was
Mhm.
fought somebody at McCutcheon, so he couldn't
And
play.
yeah, McCutcheon. Yep.
Yeah, so he had fought somebody at McCutcheon. He couldn't play. But hey, this is probably your best performance, I would say. Like you
Yeah.
ball out. at Delta, bro. Like
I
you
did.
out, man. So
I
what do you
was ready.
remember about that game?
But what I remember is we come in and we got like a whole little game plan for them, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is, for me, I kept dropping back,
Mm-hmm.
and then I just noticed that they blitzed our right side every time. And
Mm-hmm.
once McCutcheon did it, everybody else started doing it.
Yes.
So they seen McCutcheon do it, so they kept doing it. But they wasn't fast enough to do it. And I remember from last game, so Coach Ross, he was like, "That man can catch you just run around there." I'm like, "You're right." So that every time they would come, I just run outside of them,
Yep.
run around them, and then I think I rushed for like 150 that game,
Yeah,
close to it maybe.
152 yards.
Yep,
Passed 7 out of 18, 150 yards, 2 touchdowns. Zay caught one. Uh,
yep,
yeah, you threw a 42-yarder in the first quarter,
mhm,
or no, I think you
yeah,
ran a 42-yarder in the first quarter. But yeah, it was a dominating performance by you.
yeah,
But yeah, that was probably Isaiah's best game as a receiver,
yeah,
119 yards. So he balled out. But so
yeah.
we knocked the number one running back out. We make him go to New
Oh,
Pal
yep,
now. He spent
man.
his last 2 years in New
He
Pal.
said, "I'm out of here."
Hey,
You know.
so his last game at Delta
Hmm.
is by you. But now
Yeah.
though, we
And
got
I
Cinewalk.
remember. Hold on. I'm gonna touch
Okay.
back. I remember that game. I had to play offense and defense in there
Mm-hmm.
the whole game. Before
Yep.
that, I was playing both sides, but it was like half and half. I
Mm-hmm.
played quarterback the whole game, but I only played half the game of defense. But that game, I had to play defense and offense the
And
whole game.
yep.
So I know it took I would say I was tired, but I did enough to even
Yeah.
I prepared myself that week to even play both sides of the game.
Mm-hmm. And that speaks to your athleticism too. That's what I say you
Yeah,
can get into the stance, run backwards all day, back and forth, and then
man.
be on offense and run 152 yards and throw deep bombs and roll outs and things like that.
Hmm.
But like I said, man, we got Miss Cinewall at Miss Cinewall, second round of section. And they had Heisman and they had Campbell's and they had all that. But you ran for 104 yards against them, but was only 4 of
Hmm.
11 passing. You
Hmm.
did have a 5-yard TD run in the third, though. What do you remember
Yeah,
about the Cinewall game at Miss Cinewall?
man. I can remember that game like it's the back of my hand.
Yeah.
So the beginning, I'm gonna start from the beginning. I forgot my jersey at the school.
Mm-hmm.
So the only reason I forgot my jersey is because I was trying to get something out of my bag and it slipped behind something and I ain't see it fall. So we on the way to the game, get to the game, get ready for warm ups. I'm like, looking for my jersey, like, where's my jersey?
Jersey.
Can't find my jersey. So therefore I couldn't warm up and
Mm.
it was cold as ever out there.
Yeah.
So,
I think it snowed
I
in
had to, yeah, it was snowing a little bit. Our breath was freezing when we breathed, it was just freezing in the air. And then so I couldn't warm up and I couldn't get warm enough to even start throwing the ball and stuff. So I think Coach Chris and Coach Craig had planned on uh just running the ball a lot. We had put in this play double belly, the double belly option,
yes.
uh basically for me to run, to give it a run. But yeah, we went in that game after we got my jersey and stuff, we went in that game and we really couldn't we would move the ball in the first quarter. I want to say we moved the ball in the first quarter. I think we came out and scored first, and then
I believe
they
JK
came out and scored.
something
Yep,
something. But then they
yep,
back, and we had three
yep,
second half fumbles, man. And there was a fumble
yep,
exchange with you and JK, like a minute left in the game
yep. Hmm. I remember.
on
Man,
a 9 yard.
before that, we had in the first quarter we had went down and fumbled. I think ping pong fumbled first,
Mm-hmm.
going down, and he fumbled first in the first quarter, sometime in the first half, and then we scored down there too, and then right before the half ended, they scored on the
Yeah. Heisman
last
scores
second play.
crazy. Yeah, yeah.
Yep, yep. And then they went up in the half 7-14 going in the half. So we coming out in the half and I believe we dropped the ball again
Mm-hmm.
and we fumbled in the red zone again.
But
And
Daryl did
then
score the first. Daryl scored that first touchdown.
yeah, he
He
scored that
he
first
had a
touchdown.
7-yard run, and he
Hmm.
scored that first one.
Yeah, and then we coming out the half, we went down and we fumbled in the red zone again,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yep.
And then we really just couldn't draw the ball. Then
That was
they
tough.
came out and they took the ball down. They took the ball down the third quarter all the way down, and I believe they scored on that drive too. And then I remember we came down in the I scored in the third quarter.
Mm-hmm.
I
Yep.
scored in the third
5-yard
quarter
run.
in the 5-yard run, and then I think that quarter was over. And then that's when we tried to start coming back. I think it
Yep.
was we was down 14-21,
Mm-hmm.
and then I remember the last drive, man. The
Yeah.
last drive we come and we couldn't get a first down. And then we run Bama where everybody run curls. I
Yes.
throw the ball to Braden, it's fourth down. I throw the ball to Braden and it went through his hands
Mm-hmm.
and Zay caught the ball like this on the ground.
Yep.
So we got another chance. We going, and then I believe I ran a double belly to the out to the left,
Mm-hmm.
and then I remember telling coach we should run it because the end he couldn't get me, and I told Mark to block him down.
Mm-hmm.
I ran out for like 25 yards. They called it back, said it was illegal block. So therefore, we still struggling. We go down. We get a couple more plays, and then that's where the fumble come.
Mm-hmm.
We uh we run. I think it's just a QB option. Either give it to JK or I run. And we had set Braden in the C gap, the B or C gap to block down and had the tackle block out because the certain way they had ran a defense, they would blitz somebody through that gap. And if we picked him up, it was be wide open. So we did that, and I think Braden had missed a block. He missed the block, and I'm handing it off. As soon as I hand it off, that's when one of their players come and swipes the
Yeah.
ball. So then I'm looking for the ball. I don't know where the ball at,
Mm-hmm.
and then that's when they recovered it. And if you know, people say you don't know what if happened, what would have happened, but if I would have had that ball, I would score.
Man, the what ifs, the what ifs. But
Yeah.
it was all right. You ran for 1,000,
Mhm.
passed for 1,000, 24 total TDs, you know,
Mhm.
and the legend of Juice is cemented. We still got coaches to this day tell me if I had Justin for one more year, you
That's
know,
crazy.
it's the truth. They still say that, man, because you
Uh-huh.
were one of the best prospects to come out in a while. And 5 years
Mhm.
later, look, you can
Yep.
go to the NFL. You have an NFL.
Mhm.
You are an NFL prospect. You know what I'm saying?
That's
And that's been
crazy.
through it. That's very mature. That's very, you know what I'm saying? You
Mhm.
have everything it takes to be to the next level. And I'm proud of that. But so now football's over. What made you decide to play basketball? Did they ask you? Did they?
Uh, yeah. Uh, coach wanted me to come out and play. I really did it. He asked me to play, but I really wasn't doing it off his offering to ask
Mhm.
me to play. I really wanted to see if I make the team. So a lot of people say it's hard to make the Marion basketball team.
It
So
is.
therefore, I took my chances, and I wanted to stay in shape. You know what I mean? I wanted to make sure I could keep my speed and stuff, and just be ready for what was to come that summer.
Yeah.
And that's what I did. You know.
Good stuff, man. And you were
Hmm.
able to be in there as a defensive player, but you did get some
Hmm.
scores,
Yeah.
some points, and you were able to start senior night and
Yeah.
do some damage in there,
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. I was grateful to have the opportunity. It was something new. I
mhm,
didn't play. I played basketball at Howe for JV, but I didn't play on the varsity team.
mhm.
So, but I did get a couple scores, and I'm a Marion Giant basketball player, I could say.
Yeah. What are some of your greatest memories of that one season of playing for Marion as far as the bus rides, players? I mean, you had with Jalen, and you have Jalen was a freshman, I believe, wasn't he? Yeah, J.K.
Hmm.
was there, and uh, uh, Dre, and I mean, it was some Karan. I think you had some guys there.
Yeah. Uh, I want to say that season, my all-time favorite play of me is the Lafayette game where I ran it for 69 yards.
Yeah.
I want to say, and then that game just overall is my favorite game because
Mhm.
of just how crazy it was, the momentum and how fast the game was that game. I feel like we both teams was playing college football, you know what I
Mhm.
mean?
Yes.
And some people might not think so, but for us, the how much speed that was going on in that game was crazy. They ran a hurry up offense, so we had to change our way of play towards them. And they was the fastest defense we had played all season. You know what I'm saying? So and JK was making hell of a plays up the sideline. We had put in plays we never used. We know for Coach Chris, I know him, been knowing him for a while. He would have
Mhm.
stuff in his back pocket that he would use against other teams, and that's the team that we had brought stuff out that season. And then another one of my favorite memories is when we just get on Fridays we get dressed up. I don't know if
Okay.
Marion did that before we came,
Yeah, we
but
did,
uh, hmm
but
we
not,
chose.
you know, it wasn't as adhered to.
Yeah.
Hey, hey, when y'all got there, boy, we had suits and ties, three piece
Uh-huh.
suits, silk
Yeah.
slacks and gaiters. I'm like, yeah, it's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was. I remember we got a whole team picture and everybody was just dressed up and it just really
Mhm.
was like
In the front,
I
in
just felt.
yeah,
It just felt like it was a one big family right there. So that's one of my all time favorite moments for real.
stuff. So now you go into track after that. Now, did Larson and those guys recruit you? Well, I know you played it, you ran track your junior year, but and you did well. Did you expect? Now you ran the 400 that junior year, but you didn't run the 400 your senior year.
Yeah, I think my junior year, honestly, I was doing anything to be athletic that year
Mm-hmm.
because that was the first time. That was the only thing. I mean, that was the first sport I was. Oh, excuse me. That was the first sport I was eligible to play
Mm-hmm.
that
Yeah,
at Marion.
all.
So
Yeah.
yep. So I did anything that coach asked me to do. You know what I mean? I was ready. I really didn't like the 400, but I
But you
was able
didn't
to
do
do
bad in
something.
the 400.
Yeah, I didn't. I actually went to regionals in the 400.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then, but I did long jump too. So
Mm-hmm.
that year, that was my first year doing long jump. And that's what, once Larson recruited me my junior year to come run track and he seen that I can long jump, he, him and coach also helped me in long jump and helped me perfect my craft in that. And I
Good.
went to state that year as
Good.
also for my junior year.
So after track, was there any recruiting for football or any other sport? What were you wanting to do post high school?
I already had my mind made up that I was gonna play football.
Mm-hmm.
It's Football was the dream. So, uh, all the other sports I liked them. They helped me go through high school and show off my athleticism to
Mm-hmm.
myself and to other people.
Yes.
But I already had my mind made up for football, and I will was like one of the first people that recruited me, had
Mm-hmm.
offered me in 2017.
Mm-hmm.
They actually offered me after the first game a full ride scholarship. So, that was in my back pocket. But I also wanted to explore out other colleges, and then
Mm-hmm.
I took some visits during the beginning of 2018,
Mm-hmm.
and I took a visit to a D2 school in Minnesota, and then I took a visit to Marion University also, and those are really the only other two schools that I visited. But I did have offers from different schools, but not really schools I was interested in going.
Okay.
So, and during basketball season, I had Ball State come in and
Mm-hmm.
actually try to recruit me and stuff, and they provided me a walk on, but I
Mm-hmm.
really couldn't do that. I really wasn't trying to be in debt for college after college. So,
You know, give
yeah.
me that full ride and let
Hmm.
me do it.
Yep. So I took that. I took that offer. I think I took that offer. I took IWU's offer the day before they did. The day before they was gonna take it away. So
Mm.
I I did that, and after that, I moved on to their campus, and I was still in track season, and I moved on to their campus, and I was there during graduation too, so during high school graduation, which was crazy. And from there, I just did summer workouts and stuff.
I just found out your coach then left.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Where he going?
Iowa State. He going as assistant coach and special teams coordinator.
Ooh, she about to get 90,000, 100,000, hell, $500,000 a year.
Man.
You are part of the IWU history. They can't go around Juice no way. There's no way ever. They can't go around Juice the same way they talk about all those other cats. They can't go around Juice no way without giving you your credit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's what I'm proud of. But now you went through 4 years of being with those guys. Now, what were some of the negatives there? We kind of talked in a little bit about the positives. Was there any, things that you'd like to share in the negative? Because I've heard talks of guys with got his earbuds pulled out, or these guys not telling these guys about financial aid, and one guy telling another guy not to go up, try to be a coach at Marion High School, and not giving guys exit interviews, and not giving guys 5th year eligibility. I hear things. You know what I'm saying? And is there any truth to any of that?
So some stuff I do know about. For me, I was supposed to graduate last semester in the spring, but my advisors, she didn't keep me up to date with my classes and stuff, you know what I'm saying? That's what your advisor's supposed to be there for, and not for you to do it on your own, you know what I'm saying? Especially being a student athlete, sometimes you need the help for someone else to kind of look over your stuff and make sure you're going the right track, especially at a young age.
Yeah, especially being in such a prestigious institution.
As
the bubble, as everyone else calls it.
The bubble, the private school, you know what I'm saying? So, I was supposed to graduate in the spring of 2022, but I didn't have one of my classes wasn't scheduled the right way, so I couldn't take it in the spring. I had to retake it. It was only taught in the fall, and my professor my advisor didn't know that, so I had to take it this fall. You know what I'm saying? So that had held me back.
Couple rating periods to take it again.
So I had to be not held back, but it held me back from graduating a semester before. And a lot of stuff could have went on this year. You know what I'm saying? I could have actually grad transferred. I could have graduated and transferred, and had started a new life somewhere else. So that messed my plans up for me and what was going on, but everything worked out well.
Yeah. So how did it feel to finally, at the end of 5 years and waiting to do that extra class, how did it feel to finally walk down that aisle when they called your name and grab that diploma?
It was amazing. It really was unbelievable. I always had the dream of graduating college and stuff, and playing college football, and just achieving something that I didn't think I could achieve, or that's not really known for our type of people. So it was just amazing getting that diploma and walking across the stage, seeing all my family there, and actually my friends, all my buddies that graduated in my class, we all got to sit next to each other. So after my name was called, it was my friend and my other friend. It was so real in the moment. You know,
great
what I'm saying?
Feeling, man. Yeah. So proud of you, bro, man. So what does I'm sorry, go ahead.
It was just, I was going to touch on just thinking about all the stuff that I went through to even accomplish that moment. From just transferring schools and not being able to play football, and then going to a school with a different culture shock and stuff like that. And just thinking that at first I didn't really want to go to the school. You know what I mean? So, and just having different dreams and stuff. Yeah. So
wow.
It's just crazy how things play out. They say things not always going to be the way you want it to be, but and I see that, and it's like, but it's still something that I love. You know what I'm saying?
Yes. Well, what does the future bring in the business world? Do you have any jobs lined up? Do you have anything like that going on?
No, I don't. I really don't.
Well,
At this moment, I really, I'm gonna just do a couple of easy jobs to like keep
mm-hmm.
my income and
Yes.
stuff going on. But my life is still on pause to actually chase my dream of football. So
Okay.
I will be training. I'm about to head back home on the first and start training and grinding there, and
Yes.
get ready for a pro day and see where that pro day will get me.
Are you going to reach out to Coach Kenny down there, get you right, or another avenue?
I really have not really thought about it,
Mm-hmm.
of who to reach out to. I'm really for the past couple of years I've been training myself,
Yes.
and don't get me
It's
wrong,
working.
someone else can help me, and I would love the extra eye. But if I had to do it on my own, I will, because I've been doing it so far and so great.
And
So
I'm a
I've been doing
personal
it
trainer
so,
too.
you know,
I'm a trainer
yeah,
too. I've been training 20 years. It's what I
yeah,
do. I live in the gym.
uh-huh,
It's what
yeah.
I do. It's
So
what I do. So hit me up. Yeah.
I will. I'm gonna look at my options. I don't like to like one person train me. I like to grab things from other people and put it in
Mm-hmm.
my own
Yes.
bag. You know what I'm
Put it in
saying?
your own bag.
So
Yeah, I like that. A good mix. Like a little bit from here, a little bit from there. Modify this. Don't do that. I
yeah,
like that. All right, Justin. Well, you know what? Let's wrap it up. Let's get you out of here so you can enjoy the beginning of 2023. I think it's going to be a good year. It ain't been too cold coming in New
yeah.
Year. But I want to thank you again for joining me. Like I said, I'm proud of you. The sky's the limit for you, whether it be in the business world, but I think it's going to be in the NFL. I think you are a defensive back in
Mm-hmm,
NFL. On that program, shit, you can be up to the 200, 210 now.
mm-hmm.
It'll
Yeah,
be, it'll be easy. So
yeah.
I want to thank you for coming on my show, man.
No problem. I appreciate you, man. I appreciate uh your love and your support of what I've been doing,
Always, always
and
been
and
all my Nat
keep
boys, man.
yes, sir,
Even
and keep
Hard,
my name out
Daryl,
there.
Ping Pong, Steve, everybody, even
Yep.
Keyshawn, all of you.
Mm-hmm.
Love y'all.
Yeah,
Keyshawn
I
Palmer too,
appreciate it. Mhm.
and Taylor. But
All my brothers, man. We all
yeah,
went through something together.
yes, sir.
But
All right,
I just
baby.
wanted to say, always believe and always have faith and be you.
I love it, man. All right. God bless you,
All
my
right.
brother.
You too.
Yes, sir. Thank you for watching the video. Like, comment, and share, and hit that notification bell to see more from the Never Die podcast and Mr. Martin Productions.